Well, and also, when Carpenter does Halloween, he's going to be written about in every genre magazine in the world. She's amazing. One of the, she truly started the final girl. Mm-hmm. The real final girl aspect, all right? And she carries that movie on her broad shoulders. The only taint, and it does have a taint, all right? And Kim Newman, the genre critic, agrees with me that in Halloween 2, Deborah Hill and John Carpenter do the cheapest thing just to throw a little whammy in the movie, and they make it that Laurie and Michael Myers are brother and sister. Mm-hmm. And that taints every single Halloween sequel that happens afterwards, because he's not her brother. She's not his sister. That's just bullshit. That literally was them coming up with a stupid idea at the last minute. Yeah, but it's the cheapest thing. Nobody was coming from that point of view when they were making the first one. And what makes the first one so good is the fact that you don't know what it is that makes Michael Myers go, her. And same thing with H2O. Everything is working from the assumption that Laurie and Michael Myers are brother and sister, and that's just cockamamie bullshit. That's not what it is. Frankly, to tell you the truth, if Jamie Lee Curtis were to make the top 5 or extend it to 6, it would be her performance in Halloween H2O.
Really?
I tried to talk Bob Weinstein into pushing for an Oscar campaign for her in Halloween H2O. I thought she was amazingly terrific in that movie. She didn't have anything to prove anymore. She was already a star. She was already an icon. She had grown into her persona in this really cool way. And watching this grown woman deal with Michael Myers was pretty terrific. I thought she was fantastic in that movie. And it was as if it truly felt, unlike other movies, it truly felt like a full circle had come. I was enamored with Richard Franklin. He was my favorite of all the Australian directors. He was the Australian Hitchcock. And I had seen his film Road Games. I even saw one of his sex films. And Road Games, to this day, is my favorite Australian film. Not just horror film, my favorite Australian film. And Brian De Palma had really created a genre unto himself of these Hitchcock-like thrillers. And Road Games was the best non-De Palma Hitchcock-like thrillers in the 80s. And there was a lot of Hitchcock-like thrillers. And I met Richard Franklin.
I interviewed Richard Franklin, who I was a big fan of. He did the Australian Hitchcock. I was a huge fan of Road Games.
Great
and I interviewed him on this, not on the set. He had just shot the movie. I interviewed him in his office at Universal right after he had done
Cloak and
Psycho Tick, and I had seen Road Games, and I loved Road Games.
But in the case of Road Games, even though he was an American, I think Everett De Roach is the best of the Australian film screenwriters. He is your Cornell Woolrich. He was your Elmore Leonard. He was your Hitchcock to some degree or another, even more than maybe, say, Richard Franklin, who I love and adore. He wrote some really, really terrific scripts, and I actually think Road Games is hands down his best script. I think you could remake it tomorrow, and there's actually no reason to remake it, but except for the fact that that script is so good. So don't change the script. Don't have somebody rewrite it. Just use that script and put Russell Crowe in the quid role. That would be really terrific. But also, I'm a huge fan of Richard Franklin, and I think that's him at his Hitchcockian best. I think that's a truly magnificent thriller.